Okay. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming for today's conversation, our weekly bi-weekly podcast. Today's conversation is going to be about campus safety, and I will introduce myself. My name is Noe Diaz Jr. I'm a graduate assistant for the Office for Victim Advocacy and Violence Prevention, and I'll give it off to Amanda.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being patient with us as well. We had a lot of people register. We're excited. I am Amanda Quintanilla, Victim Services Specialist with the UTRGV Police Department. I work with victims of crime, students, staff, and faculty, situations that are happening on or off campus. We are all here to help you. We do this great collaboration bi-weekly with the OVAP office. So again, thank you for being here.
My name is Priscilla. I am the Associate Director with the Office of Victim Advocacy and Violence Prevention. And thank you everybody for joining us today. I will be monitoring the chat should anybody have any questions. But for the most part, we will be answering questions after the session is over. And if you have any comments, concerns, we will have where you can reach us at the end of this viewing or session. Go, Amanda. It's all yours.
Yes. Great. Hello, everybody. The next slide here, we are going to have our newly promoted Sergeant Frank Lopez from our Criminal Investigation Division. He is a great person to work with. I work closely with him helping victims, a lot of the cases that we do. He will explain what his department does in a bit, but I just want you all to know that this is a hardworking, humble, dedicated person. He is here. Our goal is to help the victims and survivors that we work with on campus. So you can know a little bit about him. His background is that he began his career with the McAllen Police Department. So he has 20 some odd years, I won't say the exact number, experience and knowledge, has great information. After he went with McAllen Police Department, he was working with the Hidalgo County District Attorney's Office. That's where we met and got to work together. And then we brought him on over to UTRGV. So we are lucky that he is able to help us and to share all of his information and knowledge. I hope you all get some great information from this campus safety talking points that we're going to be going over. Welcome, Frank.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So we're going to get down to basics. We're going to start here because I know we're limited on time. So Sergeant Lopez, and if I say the wrong name, I'm sorry, everybody. I'm apologizing in advance if I don't call him by his proper title, okay? That's just what's going to happen. I know that. Sergeant Lopez, can you just tell us the different kinds of divisions that the police department has? Are they the same at all kinds of police departments?
Basically, it's the same as the other departments, except with at a minor or smaller number. We have the patrol division, which is what most of our students and faculty and staff they see out there on patrol. The patrol unit, either that or our bike officers, the bike patrol unit. We also have a canine division. We're happy to have three dogs working on our universities. And we have the investigation division, which were the supervisor. Also under my division, it falls under also the evidence, property, and the victim services specialist.
Right, exactly. I am going to know also that people get really confused that they think that our police officers are the ones that give out the parking tickets. They are not. It is completely different. So when you walk into the police department, into the building, to the right is the police department and to the left is the parking. So they're the ones that do that. So please, because we always have to clarify that, right?
Yes.
Frank, we get a lot of information, like we get a lot of victims that come in or people that come in and they get really confused. They don't know the difference between an informational report or an incident report. Can you explain to us what the difference is and why they're important?
Yes. Incident reports is a non-criminal event. You know, you're involved in a minor accident. You lost some of your property, your ID, your something with your personal information. It's not considered criminal unless somebody uses your personal information. And just if you need any information, you can contact the police department, and that's part of being a incident report gets generated for that. On the other hand, all the offense reports, those involve a criminal act. And some of the examples can be like theft, assault, stalking, which is the three types of incidents we see the most here in
Exactly.
our campus.
Right. I'm going to go back a little bit. can you explain the difference between a police officer and a public safety officer? I know on campus you'll see people, the officers walking around in the dark or uniform, or the, sorry, or the white button down. Can you explain the difference in their duties or?
Yes, the ones wearing the black uniform are actual sworn officers,
Okay.
which means the officer, he or she can enforce all state and local criminal laws, and basically make arrests, investigate criminal offenses, and issue citations. And they do wear the black or dark color. It's navy blue. It looks black, but it's navy
Yeah, it
blue.
looks, yeah.
And they also have the light blue, which is when we use the bike uniform. And the public safety officer is a civilian. He's a non-sworn officer, still
Mhm.
considered an officer because of his title. And but he will be more of a like provide assistance to our community, such as unlocking vehicles, jump starts, or any assistance that requires non-law enforcement, but
Duties,
the
yeah.
involvement. And they
Okay.
do wear the white shirt.
Yes. Okay. And that's good to know, because a lot of times people will get confused. So thanks for clearing that up. Now, let's say that somebody wants to go and report a crime, but they're not sure if it's a crime or not. They just have questions, but for whatever reason, they're maybe just a little intimidated to speak to somebody in a uniform. Now, is there somebody at the police department that you would tell them that could assist them?
Well, we have the sometimes our communication department will make the determination when you call and ask, and they'll provide you some advice. If there's a need for you to contact an officer, they'll refer you to an officer, so a proper route can be taken to assist you. We have a front desk personnel. They'll answer also questions. You may have questions about anything related to law enforcement, and they'll guide you. And if the ultimate answer to your problem or your question is can only be answered for a police officer, and a police officer will be dispatched to talk to you. But we have, and if we also have a Miss Quintanilla, which is our victims, and we refer a lot of students or faculty, whoever comes with questions to her, because it's a good route to take also.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say that we do work hand in hand. Like I said earlier, sometimes I'll have a conversation with the person. Let's just say it's Priscilla, as a staff member coming in to ask questions, and she wants to meet the officer, but she doesn't want to speak to him directly about any certain kind of questions. So we've in the past have done that as well. So that's just something that our audience here can be made aware of, that you can at least meet an officer so you can feel a little comfortable, a little more familiar, but I will be there also to be the liaison and the go-to as well.
Yes, correct.
Awesome. So let's say that somebody goes in and they want to request a female officer, whether it's on the Edinburgh campus, the Brownsville campus, or even our Harlingen campus, because we can't forget that we also have officers at our Harlingen campus. Is that possible?
Yes, if the female victim feels more comfortable speaking with a female officer, well, we'll have a female officer assist. That way they can express their concerns. And if no female officer is available, we'll reach out to other agencies like Edinburgh or Brownsville if they can assist us with a female officer, so we can make the female victim more comfortable and be able to obtain information from her.
Okay, great. That's good. Are services also provided to the LGBTQA community?
Yes, we treat everybody equally. Everybody.
Wonderful. Good. That's really important to let our audience here know that is important to you all. What about citizenship? So does a person need citizenship status to report a crime to a police department or to any police departments?
No, we do not enforce any immigration law. If the victim is here legally or not, we treat them the same way. If they need our help, if they need our assistance, we'll do everything to help them in every possible way.
Wonderful. And again, I can vouch for that because I've seen it, that these are the officers that I work with. I know that they are very respectful towards everybody that walks in the police department doors. So let's go back talking a little bit about like the filing of the report process. If somebody goes into the PD and they want to file a report, how do they go about that? And And I know that right now things are very different because of the COVID-19 situation. And we're very grateful that UTRGV is taking a lot of precautions for everybody across the board. So if somebody were to want to go in or, file a report, what do they do? in that instance?
Again, they'll contact our, police department. If contact needs to be made in person, the officer will contact, As of now, there's some cases, depends on the type of case or situation, that reports have been taken over the phone.
Okay.
But if an officer needs to make contact with a reporting party or with the victim, we follow all protocols for, safety and avoiding exposure to the officer and the reporting party of the victim.
Okay. And most of the time, it's like I know Priscilla would probably say something. It's always a case by case basis.
Correct.
Yeah, it's a case by case. Great. Okay.
Yes.
So let's say that somebody's already made a report. We're going to say that it's a domestic violence issue, right? There's something going on there with a student, and they are going to start an investigation here at our campus police department. What would happen next? Can you walk us through the steps so that we can get an understanding of that?
Once a report is made, especially any type of report, but in domestic violence, an investigator will get assigned to the case to follow up on the case. The investigator will contact the victim again, and I would like to address that it's a long process. It's a long process and timely process, but one thing we ask is patient. But we always keep our victims or parties involved, informed of what we do, what steps on the case we are, and if we need anything, we'll reach out to them again. We have to, once that we make contact with them, they want to file charges, we continue with the investigation. We contact witnesses, we contact even the suspect, we have to contact the suspect. And
Right.
once we gather enough information to meet all the elements of the crime, we prepare what is called a warrant for the suspect. And even though when the suspect gets arrested, it still has an opportunity to plead not guilty, and this will continue in the courts. But all through the process, and in this, Ms. Quintanilla is also involved with us in all these cases. So,
Yeah.
we need to get assist the victim with a protective order or an emergency protective order. We all combine working with Ms. Quintanilla. We work together to provide all the help. If they need housing, they need a place to stay. We try to help them in every possible way that to keep them safe.
Yeah. And Frank, I think that's really important to note that it is a lengthy process. And that's one of the things that was one of the first things I know that
Yes.
I will speak to a victim about and tell them, like, this is going to take some time. We get it. We think we know everything from watching TV shows, but unfortunately, that's not how it goes. So we're upfront and we're honest and we're letting them know all the process. So
Right.
I'm glad that you were able to break that down for us. Thanks. Now, another word that we hear a lot is jurisdiction, and that can kind of get confusing to outsiders or civilians like me. Can you help us understand that and what that means?
Jurisdiction, is the official power officers have to enforce criminal law. That's one.
Okay.
It also defines the area where an officer has a power to enforce a law. Like our department is considered a state agency,
Mhm.
which we have jurisdiction statewide. Our primary jurisdiction is actual campus or counties where the university owns, rents, or leases any property. Secondary is statewide. Also, like Edinburgh PD, Westlake PD, McAllen PD, they have jurisdiction statewide also.
Mhm.
HSF's part of courtesy, they enforce the laws within their own jurisdiction, which will be their city, and secondary will be any other else. So you can be pulled over by any officer from any jurisdiction, any city, anywhere, even though you're driving next to a McAllen officer in Westlake and you start speeding
Yeah.
up. What they do, they'll stop you and contact Westlake PD, which will take over on the based on the view and information provided by that officer.
Got it. Okay. That's a good way to clear up that information. Now, one of the things that is really important for our community here to know, especially our campus community, is that you as officers work all the time. You're 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and holidays. It does not matter.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes, I'm just going to tell them this. Yes, Sergeant Lopez is his he has his shift from a certain time because he's considered admin, but he is always on call. I know that if I have something going on after hours, he will return my text, my phone call, my email, whatever it may be. Their phones are glued to them. So I want to throw that out there, that they're always available for assistance.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's say that somebody is on the Brownsville campus and they want to report something, but sometimes people just get confused because there's so many phone numbers out there. What number or what can they do?
Our campus, if they're on campus, we have the non-emergency number, which is 956-882-7777. That's a non-emergency. We
Right.
also have our own emergency number, which is the 882-4911. That it's, it's something that needs immediate action, and that goes straight to our dispatch. But if what we recommend is, if you have any, you feel for your safety, you being threatened, you feel for your life, if something major that you think, and even if we decide later on or determine that there's not an emergency, but for you it is, because you're the person there that needs to reach out to us, you can dial 911 and those calls will be rerouted to us, wherever you are. They'll notify us, and we have officers on working all the time, like you said, 24/7, and they'll respond to you.
Exactly. Frank, will you do me a favor and repeat those numbers again?
Yeah, the non-emergency is 956-882-7777, and the emergency is 956-882-4911.
Exactly. Perfect. Thank you so much. Something that I don't know if a lot of people are aware of is the Campus Shield app. That is a free app that the university has. It's here on the screen. Let me move this over. It is free. You have both of the numbers there. This is something you all can download. It's very basic demographic that it asks for. You can report things anonymously. You can take a picture, a video, or text it in, something that you see on campus that you think is a little shady. You also have a link to all the different campus resources, whether it's the OVEP office, the counseling center, the Title IX, the health clinic. There is also the maps that it has for the community, for the campus community. It also has the bus schedule and the Safe Walk program, which is another great thing that, Frank, you want to tell everybody about the Safe Walk program just in case they're unaware about it, of it?
Yeah, if you're having any problems with anybody, or you just don't feel safe, you're coming to class late at night and you don't feel comfortable walking to your car, you can call the PD and they'll have an officer. Or at this in this type of situation, we will have our public safety officers. They'll respond and they'll escort you to your vehicle. Make sure you get in your vehicle and you're on your way safe.
Yeah, this is a great tool to utilize if at any point you all do need to be on campus. I know that a lot of people aren't, but you never know with things that are going the way they are. And it gets routed to the police department. And believe me, it works, because I've been in a presentation where the officers were called to the field house. So let's say, Frank, that somebody is affiliated with UT-RGV, they're having issues off campus. Should they inform a professor of things that are happening, or if they're involved like in a sorority or fraternity or some sort of club, what would you suggest?
Yes, it's important. You make your professor aware, and your friends, your classmates. That way, more people, there's more eyes and more ears out there that can help you. In case you don't see the person that is, let's say, following you or causing you problems, you're not aware, but somebody else can help you. Notify, hey, this person you told us about is there. And also the professor will also notify. Once you notify a professor, they'll notify us also. They'll send what we call a MACtion, and it's an email that gets sent to us, and we know if you have having any problems at school with anybody, or somebody from off campus coming on too.
Yeah.
But the best thing, if you feel even more comfortable, you can notify us, and that way we are aware. And if any time that you let us know, the person if we need to put what we call a bolo, be on the lookout for our officers. Our officers will have copies of their photos and everything. If they see them on campus, then we take action to either have them removed or what we call giving a criminal trespass, so that way they won't be coming back on campus or any of our campuses on the UG system.
Exactly. That's good. That's important. What about working with other agencies? Does our campus PD work with other agencies? How does that happen?
Yes,
explain that?
actually, we work with all agencies, local,
Yeah.
county, state,
Yeah.
federal agencies, and either our follow-up investigations, or we need to reach out for any information that and they also reach out to us every time a student, a faculty member gets involved. They'll reach out to us just to either confirm if they're students or if there's anything that we can help them with, and it's vice versa. We help them, and they helped us.
Yeah, and that on that part, I will also say that there are some police departments that do have crime victim liaisons that I'll contact, or they'll contact me because maybe they want to refer a student, and that's how we, do a lot of different kinds of collaboration. That's really important because our ultimate goal is keeping everybody safe.
Yes.
So, okay, what about domestic violence and stalking? How are they dealt with on campus?
Well, domestic violence.
I know that's a big one. I know it's
Yes.
pretty big, but just something just so that people can be aware. This is how we can help you.
Yes. Again, on those type of cases, we work real close together
Yeah.
with Ms. Quintanilla. And again, like I said it before, our first priority is the protection and safety of the victim. So if we through help with Ms. Quintanilla, we can reach out, find a safe place to stay, or if they need, even we can work with the school and change the schedule, move classes, whatever needs to be done in order to protect the victims of domestic violence.
Yeah, we do a lot of collaborations, and we work a lot with all the other departments on campus, whether it's OVAP office. If somebody does report something to a professor, the professor will report it to Title IX. We work with the students' rights responsibilities. I mean, there's so many different departments that we do work hand in hand with, and that's really important to note that our ultimate goal is for everybody to be safe. I know we understand right now things are very, very different with COVID-19. Everybody's working remotely, but you never know if we can assist you with something off campus, because that's kind of what we're doing right now.
Yes.
So
yes.
we want you all to be aware of that. Now, statistically speaking, domestic violence cases are the most dangerous cause for law enforcement to respond to. I know that you all take extra precautions because I've worked with you all in those cases. Can you give us a little bit of information on how you all go about that?
Yeah, those are the cases that most of our officers get hurt or killed on the line of duty involving domestic violence. We take extra precautions. We always respond at least 2 officers, and we take every preventive measure to when we respond to protect the victim and protect the suspect and protect ourselves.
Right.
There's always at least 2 officers, and if the situation requires more officers, we'll have more officers. And if we don't have enough officers, we'll reach out to agencies surrounding our campus.
Awesome. Yeah.
And work with that.
And that's just important information so that everybody is aware that you all do work with other agencies. They contact you, you contact them.
Yes.
That's good. We are going to be wrapping up our water cooler conversation. I want to know if you can go to the next slide right here. Great. So if everybody wants to, they can, take a photo of this information with these different resources. You have the OBAP office, you have Title IX, Health Services, our police department, our counseling center, and there are crisis hotlines there as well. And again, like, Sergeant Lopez said, if at any point you're just confused, you don't know whether to use the app or what number, dial 911. It will route you to the correct location.
Mhm.
This is also some great information. Frank, I thank you so much for joining us today, because I know that you have a lot on your plate, and I know that you just taking this time to inform our campus is really important. And I know it's important to you because we've had these conversations multiple times.
Yes.
So again, thank you everybody for joining us today. I hope that you are able to, you were able to get some great information. If at any point you have any comments or concerns or questions, please feel free to email everybody. Everybody meaning OVAP or PD here that are listed, okay? And the resources will, and this information will also be emailed to you at a later date. Priscilla or Noe, would you like to say anything before we call it quits today?
I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. And I will be putting in the chat the emails, which I know you see there anyways. Or Noe, can you put the emails, please? Noe's really good about that. Thank you, Officer Lopez. And I'm getting on the chat. I don't know if y'all can see the chat or not, but Officer Lopez, everybody's telling you thank you for joining us today. Thank you, everybody, for attending. We are not taking questions right now, but you can send us the questions through the chat, and then we can pass it on to the speakers. And if they need to, they can respond via email to you.
Yes.
Yes. All righty, everybody. So thank you so much for joining us. You all be safe and take care. And thank you.